back in our render method, if we have at least one movie, we want to return this table along with a message on the top that indicates the number of movies. Otherwise, we want to return a message like there are no movies in the database. So I'm going to add a conditional statement. If this dot state that movies that length equals 0, we want to return, let's say, a paragraph with a message like there are no movies in the database. Okay. Otherwise, we want to render this table with a message on the top. So let's add a paragraph here showing, like here we want to render the number of movies in the database. What is this number? That is this, that state, that movies, that length. This is exactly the same expression we wrote earlier. So let's clean up this code by refactoring this expression into a separate constant. We can define a constant, use object destructuring. We're going to pick the length property of this, that state, that movies. Now, it's better to rename this constant to something like count or movies count. So with this, we can replace both these expressions with count. That's better. So if count is 0, we're going to return this message. Otherwise, a different message and a table. However, if we go back in the browser, we're going to get an error because we're returning 2 elements from our render method. And as you learned earlier, in JSX, we should always return a single element. If you want to return multiple elements, they should have a parent. In this case, we can wrap these 2 elements with a div or a React fragment. So I'm going to add a React.fragment here. Now, let's select this paragraph and the table together, cut them, and we want to place them in between React.fragment. Okay, so here's the end result. React fragment, paragraph, table. Now back in the browser. So showing 9 movies in the database, beautiful. Now, if we delete all these movies, we'll get a different message. There are no movies in the database and our table disappears. Beautiful. Now currently this message is so close to the top of the screen. So let's add a padding to make this look better. We need to go to index.css. This is where we have the basic styles for our application. So you can see padding is set to 0. I'm going to change this to 20 pixels, 0, 0, 0. So that is 20 pixels on the top and 0 pixels on right, bottom, and left. Let's look at the result. That is better.